I have already reviewed the first two acts of Autumn, a rock opera in 3 acts by the Smashing Pumpkins. Now it's time to review Act 3. Let's see if this one is any better than the first two. I'm not going into this with high expectations, but let's see if this one delivers. And then at the end I'll talk about what I think of the album as a whole and maybe how that could have improved. Because I wasn't really impressed with the first 2 acts. So we're going to start this review with the track called Sojourner. And this one caught me by surprise. It reminded me of like a 70s soft rock ballad. It had some soft piano sounds and orchestration. I actually thought this one was pretty good. Billy's vocals sound very good in this one. There are some short guitar solos throughout the song, so I like that aspect of it. It's a long song. It's almost 8 minutes. I think at the 5-minute point, they go into like this haunting instrumental. I like that part of it. Kind of reminded me of like classic Alice Cooper or Pink Floyd. So I like that part of the song. That goes into That Which Animates the Spirit. Another song that took me by surprise because on the one hand, it's very over the top and theatrical. I like that aspect of it. But on the other hand, it's one of the heaviest songs on the album. The guitar riff sounds like something you would hear from almost like an extreme metal band. I guess you can call it that. And they even have this breakdown towards the end with some like really heavy guitar riffs. It's all packaged into one song. It's just very theatrical. It continues the story of Zero. So 2 tracks in, pretty much actually liking this act so far. But let's see what else comes up. So this goes into Canary Trainer, and this one they're going back to that typical electronic sound that I didn't really like too much. It seems it had like this pre-programmed type of drum beat. I wasn't impressed with the song. If I say anything positive about it, I like the thick bass line that they had in the song. That was kind of cool, but in general the song is just filler. That goes into Pacer, another one of their electronic songs. This one sounds more like Depeche Mode, like that type of song. I thought it was pretty good. It's the type of song, maybe you might not like it at first, but I think once you get into it, it kind of gets like a little better. I like how they did some like trippy sounds and some like psychedelic sounds towards the end. That's how I would describe it. So, for example, actually like the last minute of the song is just like the somber and spacey instrumental. I thought that was like, a pretty cool effect on the song. Then it goes into In Lieu of Failure. This is actually one of the heaviest songs, and you're probably thinking I'm going to say I like it because it's a heavy song, but to be honest with you, it was just okay. I like the guitar riff, I like the drum beat, but other than that, it's a decent song and not much else to say about it. And then that goes into Cenotaph, another song I thought was just okay. It's a song that it kind of wants to be an acoustic ballad, but they mix in the electronic sounds in the background, and I don't really think like the combination worked well on this. I think I might have liked it a little better if it was just like an acoustic song with just the acoustic guitars and Billy's voice. Something like Billy's like Landslide cover. I think I've mentioned that in previous reviews, but that's just my personal preference. Now we're up to track number 7 on this act, and it's called Armageddon. And when I heard this one, all I could think of, this is the Smashing Pumpkins trying to sound like modern Metallica. It has the distorted palm muted open E string, galloping guitar riffs, a heavier sound overall. They had the guitar solo with like the wah-wah effect pedal, and that solo was actually better than like some of the Metallica solos from their last album, but that was just my thoughts on the song, and it was pretty good, but that's just like what I felt or how I felt about it. Then we go into Fireflies, and this is just a filler track for me. It's just an electronic song, the type of song they had throughout the 3 acts in the album, and nothing much else to say about it. If I have anything positive to say, I like the chorus. It was kind of catchy, but other than that, the song was just okay. Now we come to a song called Intergalactic. So before I even listen to the song, I'm thinking of like one thing. It's called Intergalactic. It's a 9-minute song. So my expectation is that this song needs to like pick me up off my couch and take me on a space ride and then bring me back to Earth at the end of like these 9 minutes. I mean, that's what I expect this song to do for me. And it kind of does. Like, it starts off slow. First I'm thinking it's okay, when are we going to take off? But then once it takes off, There's some pretty cool parts in like the middle of the song. They do these like Middle Eastern guitar riffs, and then they close out the song with probably some of like the best drumming I have heard on the album. And yes, it's a good song. It did what I expected it to do. And it's actually kind of like disappointing because like you get like some really good drumming on this song, but like not the rest of the album. So that's just another complaint in general. So now we have 2 more songs left. So let's see if this album ends in a bang, and not really. So the penultimate song is called Spellbinding. I didn't like this one as much. It's a mixture of that electronica sound and like some pop punk. I guess that's what I got from it. The chorus was very repetitive. You know, Billy was singing like, "Take me away, I'm gonna find you." He kind of like repeats that line a lot in this song, and it was filler for me. And the final track is called Of Wings, and you know, after 2.5 hours of music, this is if you're listening to it all the way through, you know, you think it's going to be something epic, but they end it with a kind of a weird track. It's mostly electronic. The drum beat sounds like pre-programmed. The first half of the lyrics are in Latin, and I don't have much else to say about the song. It doesn't really close the 3 acts just the way I would like it to, but that's just what it is. So let me just go into my final thoughts. So in conclusion, as far as the 3 acts go, I would say this third one might be the best. I think some of the good songs might have outweighed the bad songs on this one, but as far as an album as a whole, I think it just doesn't work. Considering back in 1995 they released a similar album of like a similar length called, we all know, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. That was, you know, an album that's like over 2 hours, and it really didn't have any filler tracks. So I'm not saying I want them to return to the 90s and release like another Siamese Dream. I know they're past that. But I'm just saying with Melancholy, there were a lot of different songs, and they even like opened up the album with like this like instrumental, and that's a really great song. I go back to that one often. But the way like Melancholy was a really great album start to finish, like this one isn't. I think they could have created a very good album by stripping it down, maybe making a single album that could have like told the same story, kept the same concept, and probably would have been better. And I think listening to this whole album like start to finish would be kind of tedious, but at the same time I think like if you could like cherry pick a few songs from the 3 acts, it would probably make a good album. So like this is something I wouldn't buy on CD or vinyl, but as far as streaming is concerned, I think it's okay because you can kind of like take the songs you like and make a playlist and, you know, listen to it in that form. But I don't know, let me know what your thoughts in the comments. My score is a 6 out of 10 for the overall album. So that is all. Thanks for watching, and check out, here are the other 2 acts I will link here if you haven't watched them yet. And I'll see you in the next one.